Hi little gay people, my phone. Yeah, so as I said yesterday, I got that from another video. It was by Bittnia, I think. I would have said Britnia yesterday if I tried to guess. There's no R, so it's Bittnia, Bittnia. They had a video, I linked it in yesterday, I'll probably do it again. Yeah, I just watched a video of them interviewing their friend. She's like, my hot friend Veronica. I tell everyone, you're my hot friend Veronica. My hot friend Veronica and I, blah, blah, blah. So she's interviewing her hot friend Veronica, and, well, they're just, like, talking for a while, and then they start reading, like the lesbians over 25 Reddit, kinda, and, like, reading, not kind of, like, they start reading those stories and, like, giving advice. They do give a little bit of advice. Some of it, they're just, yeah. It's fun. It's a good watch. If you want to be a little gay person in their phone, her phone, I don't know their pronouns. Anyway, assuming she, her, but you never know. It's always good to check. Anyway, yeah, go watch those videos. I've been getting more, like, lesbian content recommended to me since I've started making these, little videos in the morning, which is fun. Also, I finished my little cat tapestry, and I'm working on another one that's just this, like, I feel like you can't really see it very well, but it's like a blue background and then a white cat and then a white background and a blue cat. And so I'm gonna work on, like, just the one color and put it next to it. I wish I had more of that blue yarn because I feel like I'm gonna run out and I'm not gonna finish it. But it's okay. But I don't know. I just feel like it's nice to have something on the wall, and obviously I like the color blue. So like, if you look behind where my phone is, like, I have a blue, like, blue curtains, blue blanket, and then I crocheted a blue blanket for my cats to sit on, like, lay on when they're looking out the window. So yeah, lots of blue. Love blue. Also green. I have my little kiwi ukulele. Isn't that so cute? Anyway, yeah, I don't really have a plan for this video. Like, yesterday I went in going, like, I want to talk about the, like, angry man hating lesbian feminist thing, and, like, how that, like, prevented me from accepting that I was a lesbian probably younger, like, as young as I could have. I still had, like, religious family, so, like, it still probably would have, like, taken a long time to accept it anyway. And, like, as I mentioned this in another video, but, like, if you haven't watched all of them, like, when I first heard the term lesbian, like, I was in maybe, like, 1st or 2nd grade, and we were all standing around, like, the slide at the playground, and one of the kids was, like, telling everyone what gay and lesbian meant, but they were, like, really wrong about it. They're like, so if you like boys, that means you're gay, and if you like girls, that means you're a lesbian. And I remember hearing the word lesbian and being like, that's such a long word. Like, why do the boys get, like one of them's just one syllable and one of them's, like, it's just so long. For, like, my little 1st grade brain, 2nd grade brain to comprehend. And so then, like, the little girls on the playground started being like, well, I like boys, so that means I'm gay. And they're like, yeah. And so presumably some of the boys were like, I like girls, that means I'm a lesbian. Which I'd already forgotten the word. It's like, what? I couldn't have said it, like, 10 seconds later, but anyway. Oh, that, like, echoed. Cool. Yeah, so it would have taken a long time to even realize it, like, no matter what, and then to accept it, but, like, it could have gone faster. Let's say, what was I even talking about? Yeah, whatever I said earlier was not happening. Yeah, like, imagine if we had lesbian representation. I started getting recommended other lesbian content, and I was watching the Staying Up pod, which seems like a big lie because they're doing it in the morning. Their, like, whole thing is, like, we're gonna, like, stay up and have, like, a sleepover, but it's, like, daytime they're drinking coffee, it's the morning. They even said like this morning when blah blah blah, and then she's like, our whole thing, I shouldn't have, everyone knows now. And then her wife was like, yeah, I think they kind of knew, like they changed it from, apparently I only watched one episode but they talked about this, so apparently they changed it from like a nighttime like drinking wine and gossip kind of thing, but then they were like too like bitchy, they said, at night. And then, so they did it in the morning with coffee instead, and it's like they're just kind of like gossiping, like little, just like a little sleepover with your like gay friends. I don't know. It's, yeah, it's fun. I was like halfway through an episode and then like I paused it and like dinner was ready, so I went to eat. And then like the next day I like woke up and filmed. And I remember talking a little bit about, like, I just mentioned it briefly, but like when guys hit on lesbians at bars and then like they like don't like or believe the girls when they say they're lesbians, and then like I went back and watched the rest of the episode that I was in the middle of, and then they started talking about that too, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we're so in sync, you know, me and the gays. Oh, it's a weird taste. A lot of honey, and that's it. Anyway, I hate when there's just like, you get to the end of your tea and like all the honey that wasn't like really mixed in is just like, well, you're just like drinking straight honey at that point. It's weird. Anyway, oh gosh, it dripped on my hand. I remember, well, I don't remember, but like people always tell me when I was a kid, apparently there was a wedding we were all at, and my aunt made like dresses for everyone. What's my cat doing out there? Okay. She like sewed dresses for all the like kids, and apparently I had like chocolate cake on my hand and I just like wiped it off like on the dress. They're like, oh my god, everyone was like so mad. But I'm just like, I'm a kid, like I don't know, I don't like having, like, as soon as there's something on my hand I need to wipe it off. Like I can't have, I don't know, because I've noticed it, like I do kind of like mess up my clothes sometimes on accident. I'm like, why did I do that? And I like, it's a habit that I've tried to stop, but it's like I would rather have like dry, clean feeling hands than like, I don't know, who cares? Clothes, you can get new clothes, you know. I need to get new clothes. These are pretty old at this point, and my cat keeps like digging its claws into them, and there's these just little like these little balls coming out. It's just like so weird. Anyway, and they also like don't really fit. I've like moved and I've been eating like a lot more, but like these are still really big on me. I can wear like sweats. These are, I can like have a full pair of sweats on underneath and like still they're fine. So yeah, you guys are like right above my dirty clothes, sorry. It's so intimate. I don't know. What are we talking about today? One thing that I've been getting recommended a lot is like people talking about their like homoerotic friendships, which like I mentioned mine a little bit, which it wasn't homoerotic because nothing ever happened. Like she held my hand one time and I like freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh. And like one time we were at her place like in a room watching movies, and she like laid her head on my shoulder. So like, I don't know, like I said, I think she was like, also like she told me she was asexual, so I don't want to like be acephobic and be like, well actually she's a lesbian, and like I I can tell, I see the signs, because like that's what she told me, and so like that's the truth that I'm gonna accept. And like even if I'm right, like it's not up to me to like convince her, but like I was pretty sure that like she was also into women to some degree at least. And like, yeah, it's really hard. There's a lot of people, like I said, my family was just not very accepting. And I remember like thinking like I wouldn't, like even if I had a girlfriend, I probably like wouldn't come out until like my grandma died, just because like, just in case, like I don't want to like get written out of her will or something, you know. Like I came out to my dad before that, and then I felt like it's not really necessary for me, because well I didn't have a girlfriend. My grandma did die like a few years ago, which she died of a blood clot in her leg, and she had the option of being an amputee, getting her leg amputated, and she could have lived. She was 97. She was like, oh, I'm like too old, like I don't want to be an amputee. Yeah. So I just like to remind people, like when I talk about that, like Gaza has the highest population of child amputees in the world because of Israel's genocide. Just to be super clear, I hate when people are like iffy about it. They're like, what's happening in the Middle East and stuff. Like, can you just say, can you say what exactly is happening? Because like being vague about it only helps Israel. That's something I remember reading online, was like, neutrality never helps the victim, it only helps the oppressor. So if you just want to be like, well, I'm staying out of it, you know, I'm neutral, you're not being neutral, you're helping the oppressor. If there's like an abusive situation, you're like, I'm just gonna stay out of it, you're helping the oppressor. Which, like, I don't want to say sometimes, like, if there is an abusive like relationship, for example, and like the victim tells somebody about it, and like they might get hurt, so like by you interceding you might hurt them more. So like I don't want to like say you have to like step in and try to like save somebody from abuse, because it could backfire. But staying neutral, like you should do what you can, you know, like read the room, feel out the situation, trust your heart, like do what you feel is best. But yeah, neutrality, that was just the point, is neutrality never helps the victim of abuse. So yeah, if you can like talk to the victim privately and like see what they think would be the best way to help you, okay. I don't want to keep talking about this because it's just like yeah, not really my expertise. I did read, there's a book called like why he does what he does, or something, like something about like abusive and angry men. I'll try to find it and put it in the little the doobly doo. I remember reading something about it on Tumblr, and then there was a link to read the whole book like for free, which I think is really good, because like that's like the people who need it the most are the people who like can't just like go and buy a book like that like online, and then like their partner who like reads all their credit card information sees it and they're like, why'd you buy this book, you know? It's just like nice, it's a good resource. And I just found it really eye-opening, even though like the person that like my mom was emotionally abusive according to my therapist. I'm not just like saying that like out of nowhere because I'm like mad at her or something. Like it's confirmed by a professional. And so like it's so frustrating when like her sister or like her friend from high school or whatever like talks to me and they're like, oh my, like what's wrong, you know, like you should forgive her, she's your mom, try to remember the good things, blah blah blah. I'm just like, you have no idea what it was like to be a child growing up with her. Like you were her friend, you were her peer, she couldn't scream at you the way that she would scream at me because you wouldn't be her friend anymore. Like, and she could do whatever the fuck she wanted because I was a child and she like had power over me, and so it didn't matter. Anyway, I'm like, no, I don't want to like the fact that they feel that they have to tell me like, she's your mother, of course she loves you, you know, like don't you think if she loved me I would have known after like growing up with her for like 20 years like in the same house? And then well, I was in college, I went to college when I was like 18, I think. My birthday's in August, so it was like, I think I was already 18 probably, because high school usually started like before my birthday, so I'd be like 17 for like a week and then like 18, but I think college didn't start like till fully September. So yeah, I'm like 18. Yeah, I would like never call my parents, and that was like a big thing. Then every time I went home to visit, everyone's like, why don't you call your mom? And I'm like, because she like her and my dad were always drunk, and then like they would FaceTime me, and it would just be like the same conversation. Like I'd talk to my mom, and then she'd forget, like she's like blackout drunk. She'd like forget everything that we talked about, and then like kind of start over. She's like, so like how's school, blah blah blah, and then like I'd go through all that, and then like after a couple minutes be like, okay, and how's school, and then like the same questions, and then she'd give the phone to my dad, and it's like the same thing. I was just like, this is so annoying. Like I don't want to be like wasting my time like this, and they're not even gonna remember it, so like why would I call them? And then like I would go home, and then everyone's like, why don't you call your parents? I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like my old band teacher is like, you should call your mom. I'm like, you don't know anything about my life. Anyway, and there was like one time at band camp, not really, it was after like a field trip, but still. Every time I would start stories like that one time at band camp, and then people would like quote one time at band camp, and I'm like, yeah. Like I didn't know it was a movie quote. Anyway, if you're confused, it's from like a summer movie. I can't remember. American Summer, Wet Hot American Summer. Does that sound like a thing? Anyway, there was like a TV show about it on Netflix. Anyway, one time after a band field trip, there were some kids doing some kid stuff, and my mom like screamed at them, and she was like proud of it. She was bragging. She's like, yeah, I like yelled at them. They were being bad kids, and I screamed at them. I'm like, oh my god, you're crazy. You love getting like younger, more like less powerful people like scared of you. Like that's weird. Stop. So like, yeah. Anyway, so I guess this is about being no contact. We're 16 minutes in. That's what we're talking about now. So okay, cool. What else can I say? I do remember, like, speaking of being a lesbian, I remember one time, like, I think my dad made a joke about being gay, and I maybe was like 10 or 11-ish, maybe older, I don't know. But like, yeah, I was youngish, living with my parents still. My dad maybe made a joke about me being gay. I don't really remember what he said. And then my mom was like, we would love you even if you were a lesbian. But like, she has this story of when she was growing up, her brothers would tell her that she was adopted. And then she'd go to her parents and be like, am I adopted? Like, he keeps telling me I'm adopted. And then like her parents never like confirmed or denied. They'd always say like, even if you were adopted, we would love you just the same. She's like, that doesn't really like make me feel better about it. And so like, then when my dad's like, oh yeah, what, I think, yeah, I have no idea what the context was like, what if she's a lesbian? And then my mom's like, even if she was a lesbian. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not, but I guess that's fine, because I didn't think I was. But it's like, whatever, you know. It doesn't really make me feel very good. Like, I don't think that she loved me anyway, so it was like, I wouldn't really care, you know. But I don't think I was that aware of these like, I just thought that was normal to like for parents to just scream at their kids all the time. Like, that was like a motivating factor for me for a lot of my life, was just like, I don't want to get screamed at. Like, that's why like my brother would get in trouble for like not getting good grades, and like she'd scream at him, and then so I was like, I'm gonna just like do well in school, and then she like won't scream at me. And I did do really well in school. I was like such a little nerd. I got like mostly good grades. I had like some trouble with English. Like, I didn't know that, like, I think I was trying to make it more complicated than it was, like writing essays. Like, I felt like you had to come up with like an entirely original and like new interpretation of like a book every time. It's like, this is like so much, and like, I don't know. I didn't know you could just like talk about, like, they'd be like, what's the theme of the book? And it's like, I don't know, like, what is the theme? And then it's like, we're reading Pride and Prejudice, guys, the theme is love. And it's like, oh, I didn't know that was like allowed. Like, I don't know, it just seemed too obvious or like simple. I don't know. So like, I think that might have been why. Maybe I'm just bad at writing essays. I remember learning about how to write essays, and like YouTube video essays weren't really a thing. Like YouTube wasn't a thing, and so YouTube video essays weren't a thing. I'm trying to think, because it was like probably 5th grade, and that was like 2005, and I'm like, I think YouTube was like around, it came out around then. This is like the 20th anniversary, so it might have been YouTube might have been around, but the video essay was not a thing yet. And so like we were learning to write essays, and I was like, why would I ever write an essay? Like they'd be like, you want to talk about this, and then like think about like what your opponent would say, like come up with a counter argument. And I'm like, why would I ever do this? Like this this would never happen. And now like I watch video essays, and I'm like, oh my god, like I've always wanted to like make YouTube videos. Like I would watch like the Vlog Brothers. I think I started with Charlie Is So Cool, like, which is by the way, very cool. Like I was scrolling through my my like homepage, and I was like, who's that lady? And then I like looked, and I was like, Charlie Is So Cool, like. And I was like, wait, why is Charlie Is So Cool like putting some like random lady as like the thumbnail? And I was like, do I want to watch that? I don't know. I don't know who that is. And I scrolled a little bit, and then it clicked, and I was like, wait, oh my gosh, that is Charlie Is So Cool, like. And then I scrolled back up, and then she was like coming out as a trans woman, and I was like, that's so cool. And I remember like one of my friends tweeted about like Charlie Is So Cool like being a compact crush of hers, which I did finally define, kind of. I think I gave like a little bit of a definition, and then like talked about how it affected me, and it just like wasn't like, I don't know, in my head I'm like, I still didn't like define it, but I think I'm okay. Right? Yeah, so Charlie Is So Cool like was like their compact crush. And then like I think that too, like I think I did have a crush on Charlie. Yeah, I don't know. And like a lot of like, there was like another person that I knew in high school who like I thought was a boy, who like I kind of had a crush on, and then like later she came out as a trans woman, and so I was like, I would use that as evidence, like, no, I am bisexual because I liked blah 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 in high school, but like blah 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 was not a boy, so that doesn't even count. So yeah, just because I didn't know. I think she knew, but like obviously like being trans is complicated. Like a lot of people don't understand it. It's like hard to come out and like accept yourself, you know? Yeah. So I'm not like, well, she knew and she just didn't tell me, but it's not like her fault, you know? But yeah, that happened like a few times, kind of, like not really. I can't think of anyone else that I like specifically remember having like a crush on, but there were like a lot of guys that I knew that like came out as trans women, like kind of around the same time. Like yeah, like in college I would like see it on Facebook, like people would be like, by the way, like they would change their name and like, yeah, change their profile picture to like have the trans flag in it and stuff. And so I was like, oh wow, like a lot of people are coming out. That's interesting, you know? I didn't realize in high school how many trans people I knew, but yeah, I didn't realize how many gay people I knew. I didn't realize I was gay. It's just like, oh my gosh. I like, sometimes I think like, what if we could like do it all over again, and like we all actually like know who we are, and we can just like be ourselves, and like, oh my gosh, how cool would it have been to like not have to like pretend that we're all like cis het people like trying to navigate like high school. We could just like be like, yeah, I'm gay, who cares, like what, teach me math now. Like I just want to learn math. That's why I'm here. Nobody wants to learn math. Not nobody. I was really good at math, but like most of the people that I would like hang out with were not very good at math. Yeah, good stuff. I was taking like the AP, we had a special like program where we did AP Calculus, AB, instead of like doing like AP Calc A in 1 year and then AP Calc B the next year. We did like AB in like 1 year, and then AP Calc C. So I was like a high school student taking like college math, technically. Well, like any AP is, but it was like even more advanced than like most of the high schools would offer, I think. So yeah, not that I wasn't really like good at it. I didn't really like understand it necessarily, but I could like plug in the numbers. Like they teach us the formula and then you just plug in the numbers. Like I didn't really know like we're moving objects around like an axis in our head, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Like I don't know how this could ever be useful in any situation, but like I can plug in the numbers, I guess. But like people would ask me for help with like math homework or like econ. I was really good at econ too, like econ homework, and I'm like trying to help them and they're like, why? Like I'm like, just plug in the numbers to the formula. They're like, okay, but why? I'm like, I don't know, just do it. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, so what else can we talk about? We're 25 minutes in. I feel like I've been talking forever because I didn't have like a plan for this, and it's kind of all over the place, and I'm thinking like, what am I gonna title this? I don't know. It'll come together. It always seems to. But yeah, I usually like before I start filming, I like take a minute and like take a few deep breaths to like kind of center myself, clear my head, and then like kind of like pray or whatever. That like I'll say what I need to say right now. You know, the thing that's like, think about what you are gonna say before you say it. Like, does this need to be said? Does this need to be said by me? Does this need to be said by me right now? And then like, so I'm like, I pray that I say what I need to say right now. Pray what needs to be heard. Pray that I say what needs to be heard. Etc, etc. So like then I just kind of like start talking and hope it like goes somewhere interesting. But yeah, some people, yeah, these videos are getting like more views than I was expecting. I haven't really checked the view count in a second, but like it was like I posted one and then I got a few and then I posted another one, and then like the first one was like still getting views like after I posted the second one, which was like different to me because usually I posted like on my music channel and I would post like once a week for the most part. There was a point where I was doing like every day posting videos, but like yeah, I was like, this video got like 300 views, and then the next day or next week or whatever I would post another one, and like the other one is like stuck at like 313, and it doesn't change from that. And then like the new one gets like 528 or whatever, and then the next one gets like 104, and I'm like, what's going on here? But then like yeah, and then one of them got like 2,000, and it was the worst one, and it was like I didn't even like that song that much. Anyway, not that okay, if you know which song it is, it's Paramore, Still Into You. Not that I don't like the song, I just like think that the wording like isn't very romantic. Like I don't think it comes across the way that like to me anyway, like obviously other people like and connect to it. I just like, to me that's not, I don't want to like be like still into my partner like even after all this time. Like I don't know, it just seems like, yeah, even though you suck and this relationship sucks, like I'm still into it. Like that's just kind of the vibe that I get from it. So that was like kind of the reason I picked it, because yeah, like I got dumped on Valentine's Day. I talked about this a little bit before, but like, so he texted me on Valentine's Day, like I met someone else like 2 weeks ago and we've been hanging out a lot. So like I went back in my journals and I was like February 7th, I wrote like, because I think I texted him, like he went on a hike, and then my roommate and I went on a hike, and then like I posted pictures of it on Instagram, and then he was like, oh my god, I just went on a hike, blah blah blah. And so we were like kind of texting, and like I realized like, so he's like going on hikes and stuff, he's not inviting me. Like I don't think he likes me, like he's not like inviting me to spend time with him. He doesn't like really text me very much, except like to tell me that he went on a hike without me. Like I don't know. So I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work out. Like he doesn't like me, I have to end this. Like, but then like I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to be like, hey, I don't think this is gonna work out, like I think we should like stop talking. Because then that would like show that like I did kind of like have like some kind of feeling and like investment in some way, and like if he didn't, like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like stop. And then like as an astrologer. This was like the first time I'd had like, was it the first Venus retrograde that I had experienced as an astrologer? I don't think so. But like the first one that I was aware of, this was like, okay, there's an important point. Venus retrogrades in like a star point thing, like pattern. And there's something called the prenatal Venus star point, which is like the retrograde before you were born. That one's like the most, not like most impactful necessarily, depending on like if you have your rising sign in one of the places Venus is retrograding. That's gonna be really impactful, but like this was my prenatal Venus star point retrograde, and Venus was retrograding over the same spot. So it was like really impactful for me. So I was thinking like, okay, Venus was retrograde like this whole time that we've been talking, and then it like finally is getting to like the point where it's like out of the shadow period or whatever. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense, like even though he's not like being super like forward and like affectionate and stuff, like it makes sense, like things are just like being a little delayed because of the retrograde. It's just a little slower than I thought, but like, you know, if we have like if we have the rest of our lives, we have the rest of our lives. What am I in a rush for? You know, like I don't need it to happen like right now, you know. So I like talked myself out of it, and then yeah, like a week later he like told me that he'd met someone else. And so like when I was doing the song covers, it was kind of like I was kind of trying to recreate like what I was feeling at the time. Like so I started releasing the covers like in October, which is like when we met, like when I applied for the job, got the job, and then I started working. We didn't meet right away. I don't really remember when we met, but so it's like releasing songs like once a week starting October, and then like that's when it like February 1st, which would have been like supposedly when he met this other person and they started hanging out a lot, which I was like, you never invited me to anything and you're like hanging out a lot, like what the like I just felt so like worthless to this person. And it was like, anyway, so yeah, so the February 7th, the day that I was like, I don't think this is gonna work out, I wanted to pick a song. Like I was doing love songs all the way up till like February 13th. And then on February 13th, he said they got together. He's like, we made things official last night, in the text on Valentine's Day. So like, that's their like anniversary. So that day I did like a duet, cause it's like it's like they're, they're already like in a relationship and I don't know about it. And like, I'm still thinking like tomorrow's Valentine's Day. He's probably gonna like take me out to dinner. We're probably gonna have like a good, like hot, there's like a Venus-Mars conjunction, and I thought it was gonna be like really like hot and like fun. But it was just like sad. It was in my 12th house. The 12th house, for those of you who don't know, is the house of like hidden enemies. So yeah, I was like, that really makes a lot of sense. Once I like predicted it would go differently, but like I guess it's astrologer good, as Chris Brennan says, which is like when something supposedly bad happens, but like the astrology makes sense. I did say supposedly on purpose. I hope people don't think that I think that that's how it's supposed to be said. Okay. Yeah, that's supposedly bad, but the astrology makes so much sense that it like becomes astrologer good. Okay, so I decided that the video is gonna be about going no contact, and then I stopped talking about that. What are we gonna title this? Who knows? Oh gosh, there's so much pressure. Anyway, I'm just kidding. This is just like for fun, you know, like I don't expect really anything to come from this. I'm just like up here yapping, up here rambling. Yeah. So thanks for watching, I guess. I was thinking like I probably should do a little bit of a shorter video because like most of them have been like an hour or so, and we're almost at like 35 minutes, so that's, yeah, that's more than half an hour but not an hour. So I think this seems like a good stopping point, and I'm like out of stuff to say. Almost done with my tea though. Should I just finish my tea really quick? So I moved recently from like Los Angeles to Missouri, and we have like, when we moved out here, my dad called the like trash company to like set up our account or whatever, and she told us like, oh, he's like, it was like this sweet old lady on the phone. She's like, if you have extra trash that you need to like throw out, you just like put it in one of those big like bags and put like tape $2 on the top, and my boys will like pick it up for you. And yeah, I've never seen, like in LA we had those like standard like the trash cans you put outside, and then like they have that like hook thing, the like fork, and they like and like pick it up and put it in the trash. It's like automatic. There was like a guy on the back, like in the Parks and Rec episode when Leslie and April like take over the trash like sanitation route for the day, and they're like standing on the back like physically picking up the trash cans, I was like, oh my gosh, I watched him do that today like for the first time, like right out the window right before I started filming. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so quaint. Where are we? Anyway, that's all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, week, life, whatever. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching.